Today we're going to be talking about the article from Monday, which was about music and maybe how music is connected to our emotions. Although I guess more than that, it was more about whether music was actually useful for us, right? It was a little bit more about whether there was actually maybe a practical or a valuable reason for us to enjoy music. But maybe I should be asking you guys what you think. What were some of the ideas that the article talked about? What stood out to you from the article? Who wants to go first? Yusuf, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. As I remember that the article was talking about the music and what's actually the music. Well, let's say the music, it's not like as obvious as we think. And this is why there were like a lot of theories about the music, like and how it impacts us, how it affects us. So the beginning of the article was talking about when someone asked, or let's say when someone was trying to explain that music is not like obvious as we think, and he said it probably going to have a deep meanings. So and one of the theory, they think that probably the music can have some messages, or let's say some people in the long time, or let's say in the history, they try to use it as a sexual message to which with which other, like each other, sorry, and they trying to have like a connection between them. Another theory think that it's just a kind of way of communication, and yeah, I think this is the not the main, but still, even that, they still think it's a mysterious thing, and it's it wasn't very clear for them to understand. And I think I didn't complete the whole article, but I believe that they didn't give like an obvious, clear answer. It was all about theories. That's it. That's why I remember for today. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that's fine. Whatever you remember is fine. And you're right. They were just kind of giving a lot of theories because I guess one of the big ideas was that we don't really know. We don't really have a clear answer to these questions. We have some theories, some ideas, but there's nothing that's been kind of 100% proven or that we can definitely say, no, this is the reason why. Constantine, can you add any other details to that?
I'm afraid not, because it's some, for my personal, it's some maybe supernatural language to communicate with our people, because in my early young years, I was also a kind of musician, and I'm making the music, but I realize it's not my maybe it's not my strong part, but I prefer architecture. So in general, if we say about topic, it's I remember it was about some proto language, and it is very important message to me personally, because it's like a sound, like a way to communicate with another people, and to unite some people, and to make feel some people, make feel them some feelings. And if you maybe join sometimes some music festival, you, I'm sure you feel it feelings, then you are maybe connect to the energy of our planet, or maybe some external external abilities to connect to the feeling you feel, not you not feel before. So it's hard to explain to me, because I am deeply in the music, especially in the electronic music and the classical music. So it's about some way to communicate for me personally, and the topic is, it is about this, and maybe some part of this topic also about the feeling, and the provoke the moving of the music is, for example, the dancing. But the dancing is absolutely another topic, so I don't want to even mention it, because the dancing is a little bit different, but because the music is another kind of energy. And maybe that's all that I remember, and maybe it's about the impression about this article. So thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. You gave me a good idea, Konstantin. I hadn't thought about dancing and talking about dancing as well as music, but you've given me the idea now. So let's see how we go, though. We'll see if maybe we can just use it as a like a last option. If we don't have anything else to talk about, we can talk about the association maybe with music and dancing. Okay, maybe my first question then for you both is, what is your connection to music? How important is music to you? Is it something that you, for example, do you listen to music every day? Do you listen to music? Do you make music? Do you, for example, maybe play an instrument or sing, something like this? What's kind of your, this is going to sound strange, what's your daily relationship with music? If that makes sense. What kind of connection do you have, like on a daily basis, with music? Or maybe it's not daily. Maybe it's weekly or monthly, or maybe you hate music and you never listen to it. But what do you, what's your connection to music? Seth?
Well, personally, I have a strong connection with the music. I can say I daily listen to music, but the thing is, I always relate it to some kind of activity because I go, do some exercising and or going to the gym in general. I always prefer to listen music while I'm doing it, like while I'm exercising. So it's I can say probably daily or day per day probably, but I believe it's give me some some kind, I can say, motivation sometimes. Probably just bring some memories another times. But yeah, that's the connection that I have with music. So yeah, it's a very, very strong connection. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's something that is kind of plays a pretty regular part in your life, or it's pretty common to have music in some part of your day. Konstantin, would you say it's the same for you, or is it a bit different?
Music is a significant part of my being. Yes, it's but it's some supernatural, and it is maybe this is the condition that I stay alive, and maybe music it is special kind of communication. For example, for in my personal case, I like electronic music a lot, and then I hear it, and I feel I charge of energy, and I like it's just a device on take on charging, and it charge me, and it full it fill me of energy, and I'm not imagine my existence without music. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. This is good then. It sounds like you're both pretty into music. You listen to a lot of it. So hopefully that means we can have a good discussion today about it. So maybe I'm trying to think what my next question will be. Maybe if you have a question as well to ask everybody, feel free to share too. But maybe, why do you think that music is interesting to us? Let's go with this question. Why do you think that people are kind of interested in music? What attracts us to music? What about me? I can say I like music. I listen to a lot of music. I probably listen to a lot less nowadays than I did when I was younger, though. I used to use music a lot, especially when I was studying. I listened to a lot of music when I was a teenager and when I was studying. So much so that until today, when I hear the music that I used to listen to, I still know every single word to every single one of those songs. It's like in my DNA now, those songs, because I listen to them so much. Today, though, I probably listen to less. I don't listen so often nowadays. I don't even know if I listen every day, to be honest. Not deliberately. I know I probably did in the past. And when I had to commute to go to work, I definitely listened to it every day. But now that I kind of have my own home office, I don't have like that part of my day to kind of listen to music. That might be one of the big reasons that I don't listen to it every day, actually. Actually, do you think this is a big reason why people listen every day? Because, for example, they have to travel between different places, like get to work or get back again. Do you think that this might be why most people would listen to music every day? Konstantin?
Thank you so much. And I have to make a confession. I listen it every day. I listen music every day, and maybe it's my addiction of it, and I don't know why, because it's very high dependence of listening music. Um, so maybe because I'm not. I'm a musician, but the musician who is not realized. It's about your dream. You imagine you as a musician, but you are not realized. It's absolutely about my case. Thank you, and I hope it was clear. And excuse me, please.
Yes, I think there's a lot of people who love music, who really enjoy playing it, but maybe will never be a famous musician. I think there's probably a lot of people around the world like that. And fine. I think it's more about enjoying it. And as long as you enjoy it, and maybe as long as you're not annoying your neighbors too much, I think it's a great kind of hobby to have, a great thing to do. Does that question make more sense now, Youssef, from what I wrote? Maybe I should make it a more general question, actually. Maybe I should ask you. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. Just try to understand the question very well by asking you again. Do you mean like while they're traveling or something?
Yeah, so maybe I need to make the question a little bit more general and ask you both where you think people or why people are listening to music. Maybe I should make it a bit more general.
Well, I think it depends. Probably sometimes it brings like some memories. Probably just for fun. Probably, for example, me sometimes when I do it for a purpose to working out, for example, I just try to find like suitable or let's say motivational music. Sorry, not song, but music. So yeah, so probably this has no reason, but just to motivating me, like not like a logical reason, or just a music or a sound that keep me pushing the weight. That's it. Some people, some others, probably when they are sad, they try to play on music that just trying to make them feel better, or others they trying to feel sad, and they play on a music which can lead them to feel sad. Thankfully, I'm not from I'm not kind of this I'm not a fan of this, but I'm trying to say it depends. Everyone has probably specific reason and a particular reason to listen to the music. So yeah, it depends. My answer is it depends. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Konstantin, what do you think?
I'm not sure I understand your question right and properly, but I try to answer. It's music is a reason. It just maybe provoke us to make some action, and it is about some source of influence, and music is one of the greatest source of influence. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So let's have a look then maybe at some of the questions or maybe some of the theories that the article was talking about. So let's see what the first one was. Okay, so the first reason they said maybe is that there's the appeal of like the rhythm and maybe like the patterns in the music, and that we like music because, you know, there's kind of all these different patterns that we can kind of recognize over and over again. What do you think about this theory? Do you think people listen to music because they like, you know, listening to these patterns or recognizing these patterns, recognizing the rhythms? Is this a reason why you listen to music? Konstantin?
Yes, and excuse me, please, for such kind of delay. So, question is, I'm not sure people, why people affecting of music and maybe. Excuse me, please. Can you please repeat the question, because I'm not sure I understand it correctly.
Sure. So the question, I'm kind of looking at some of the theories that they talked about in the article. And one of the first theories was that we listen to music because we like the rhythm in the music, and we like the patterns. We like the fact that we can recognize patterns. So my question was if you think this is the reason that people listen to it, and if this is the reason that you listen to it.
I think people recognize rhythms, and it is make some feedback in their souls, and it is very important because it's just maybe for my personal opinion, it's just depicting of the time. It's how time is during, and it's about how we live in our life, and music is depict this process. That's why it is for it is so maybe close to our understanding, and it's absolutely another level of communicate, and so that's it, and excuse me, please.
Okay, thank you. Yusuf, you said this is a reason that you listen to music.
Yes, yes. So sometimes I just like the rhythm and the way the music made by some music creators, if I can say that. So yeah, probably this will get my attention at the beginning. So for example, as I said, when I do specific activity and I try to play some music, I just go for the rhythm. So once I like the rhythm, I keep listening to it. So if it will get my attention, I will play it again the next time, or the next time I'll do the same activity. So for me, at least, the rhythm will attract me, and a lot of people that I believe that they do the same activity. A lot of them, I can notice them looking for the rhythm more than anything else. I don't listen to songs that. Well, I'm trying to say that songs like that has some lyrics. If this is the right word. So I'm not trying to lyrics. Yes. So I don't focus a lot on this because for me, I consider this is just a fake word, to be honest with you. But I just want, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. So I just focus on music because I like the rhythm more. That's it. That's for me. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. So the lyrics, that part of it, that part of music doesn't really interest you. You're more interested in like the rhythm and the sounds of the instruments themselves, that aspect of it. It sounds like Konstantin might agree with you, actually. Maybe you both have a similar taste in music. I'm not sure. Konstantin, you wanted to add something?
I just want to add I'm absolutely agree with Joseph because lyrics is kind of the poetry. You know, poetry is about literature, and the message they give us is something maybe special field of the our culture, but the music it is absolutely another. It is absolutely another. It is maybe absolutely unique because it is international and this absolutely maybe universal way to communicate people between and unite it and maybe something like that. So music is have no language, it have no difference where you from. It's just a sound, and sound is a special way to communicate. And also in the article, also if I am not mistaken, was mentioned article mentioned about it, and some African tribes they dancing, they singing, but I'm not sure is belonging to music because it is more complicated. The section mentioned in article about the tribes in Africa tribes, it's more most this may be about their local tradition to communicate, and it was not only about music, but they communicate and the feeling some feel, and it's you know, if you participate some big festival and a lot of people, you feel some feeling that unite you with another people in this festival is some maybe mass psychosis or something like that, and it's you share that feeling with a lot of people you around, and music impact is not about sharing your feeling with people you around, but your personal attitude to how you feel it, and maybe it is not about mass culture, but music is why music is so universal. Why music is so universal is maybe my false friend from Ukrainian, because it's you know it's some subject that you can use in very different situation, and music is about the way to connect with people uh, without with no relation to how language you speak or something like that. So music unite people. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm a little bit confused though, so I just want to clarify something because at one point you were saying that music is something very individual and it's not about sharing, it's just about how you feel. But then you also said that music is about communicating and the fact that it kind of allows us to connect with other people and to communicate with other people without having to share like a language, for example. So I guess this is my next question for you both. Is music a very individual thing? Is it just about your own feelings, or is it about sharing and communicating things with others? How do you see music? Is it something just to enjoy individually and to have your own individual experience? Or is it more about a way of like maybe communicating feelings or communicating things with other people? Or both? Yusuf?
Okay, I would say, as someone who doesn't understand like very very well the message of the music, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I do understand the music. I just like the music the way it is. Like I just enjoy listening to the rhythms. Probably some people find some messages, like within the music and the kind of the music. Okay, but probably this is the mysterious or the secret of music that the article mentioned, that probably it has something we do not understand, like it's not obvious, this mysterious thing that they talked about. So for me at least, let's say for example, I do exercise or I do any kind of activity and I play on music and I like the music. The reason why I don't want to stop to listen to it and repeat it every time I do the same activity, it's I feel something. So when I feel something, like even I like it, when I feel something, probably it has a message that my unconscious brain, like my unconscious situational state understand, and I do not understand like in a conscious way. Probably it has. So and probably this is the reason why I repeat it over and over. So that's my answer. Or that's what I wanted to add is something, or let's say a secret in it I do not understand, that keep listening to this music. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. This topic is getting a lot more philosophical than I expected it to, I will say. Okay, but you can say that it does kind of make you feel something, that it does connect you with maybe some kind of emotion or some kind of feeling. Do you feel... Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot to to mention the conclusion. And back to your question, which is the music is individual or individual message, or let's say just something we share, or it's just an individual. I believe the creator of this music, if he has a message, so it reached me at least. Probably I didn't understand the message, but my unconscious state kept listening to it. So which means he shared something with me. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. I was trying to form a question, and then I stopped and listened to what you were saying, and then I forgot what my question was or what I had worked out. We'll have to have a look, Constantine. I think I was going to say, okay, maybe I'll share one of my ideas, and then you guys can tell me what you think about this, whether it's something that you agree or disagree with. Don't worry, you can disagree with me. I don't mind. Sometimes I think with music, why people like music is that it maybe makes us feel a certain feeling. And when it does that, or it kind of expresses a feeling, and when we connect with it, it helps us maybe connect with others, because it makes us feel like we're not the only one with that feeling, that maybe there are other people who also have that feeling or are experiencing whatever it is that we are. And so it kind of connects us maybe with others, because we expect that they will maybe have that same or a similar experience that we would have with that music. And this is getting more complicated than I hoped. Does that make sense so far? Uh-oh. The silence. That's a no. Okay, let me try again. I don't know if I can explain this in another way. I think what I'm saying is, I think sometimes music can, obviously you can have different feelings, different emotions, right? That music gives you. And I think one of the things that people like about music is that they can say, okay, this song makes me feel this way, and it maybe makes me feel more connected to other people because I know that other people are also experiencing that same emotion or also feel that same way. Does that make more sense?
I'm sorry, but is the question if music make us like share same emotions with others? And the question,
if you think that's maybe one of the reasons that people like it, because it kind of makes them feel emotion, and they can kind of feel that same emotion or share that emotion with other people who might also listen to that music.
Yeah, I understood the question, but let's see. Probably Constantine want to answer because I answered already the previous question.
You
Okay,
can
go
ahead
ahead.
if you want.
Okay, let's say what Constantine would say. Okay, a face. All right, I'm going to answer. For me, yes. Still, I'll say it again, and I'll repeat myself. I'm not a good, or I don't have a knowledge to understand the music language. But probably because I kept and I keeping listening to certain music, probably sometimes I feel like at least this creator probably has something or wants me to reach or to understand something. Probably, I'm not sure. So because let's for example, I'll give an example. Some music I still can listen to, like, and I remember that I'm listening to since probably 2018 or something. Probably it has like 6 years, or I don't know, like probably 7 or more. So every time I do the same activity, I still listen to this music, and every time I think like why this music, I still can listen to this music, and why it still make me feel enjoy the moment. So probably, and sometimes I feel like the creator has a unique talent, and I always ask this music, this particular music, it worth more viewers, for example, and more listeners, because I know that this particular music, it didn't got famous, or let's say popular. So yeah, so I can say there is something we share, or I can assume, I can be wrong, but there is something we share with other people while we're listening to specific or certain music. Thank you. This is my answer.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it makes sense. There is obviously, if there's something strong enough, or it kind of brings up enough strong feelings, you'll enjoy listening to it for a long time. It's not just something temporary. And maybe that's part of why some songs last for a long time as well, why they stay popular for a long time, and why other songs maybe we forget about really quickly. It's about how strong the reaction is that we have to the music. If we have a very strong reaction to it, maybe we'll keep listening to it for a long time. If we don't have a strong reaction to it, maybe we'll kind of forget about it a lot sooner. Konstantin, what do you want to add about this?
I'm not sure it will be properly, but I know a lot of local musicians here, and I was personally part of musical culture, and what I have to say, the people which represent this category of the society is absolutely this is the only hope of our civilization or something like that. So the people they create absolutely amazing things, and it is comparable to the Leonardo da Vinci invented a bicycle, you know. This is comparable because people seeking in some new senses, and they make it during not only using words, but the sounds. But I have to notice you. Unfortunately, Yusuf leave us, and I'm so sorry because I will appreciate it, but I hope also appreciate it. For example, some poet and poetry, and they make some images and they share it and they make it popular. But music do it more polite and more maybe um, progressive way. You know, it imply more widespread impact. So music is only about you hearing a sound, and my approach, I prefer to hear music, and if it have lyrics, so I prefer it hear as a sound without understanding of the text. Because it's just some pattern to make you feel something, and the words it is not the preferable, it is not on the first way, and the meaning of the words the secondary incomparable, the music and the sounds and the feeling you feel. So that's it. And excuse me, please, it was too hard to explain to me, and I'm afraid I take too much time. So that's it.
No, it's fine. You've got all the time left in the world. Okay, not all the time. We've got how many minutes? 12 minutes. You've got 12 minutes to say whatever you want to say. Let me ask you then about this idea of like lyrics and music and poetry. Do you think that music can be considered a type of poetry? Do you think maybe music is just a different form of poetry, or you don't think it's on the same level?
For my opinion, it is not comparable, because poetry takes stances that maybe framed about the meaning, about the words, but music is much more widely, and it has no boundary, and it is not comparable to me. So, for example, if you say poetry about Shakespeare and some genius of the literature, it is not comparable with music, because music is much higher, for my personal opinion. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm confused. Higher in what kind of way?
Excuse me, could you please explain? Kind of way?
You said that music is higher than poetry. Higher in what kind of way? Higher in what aspect?
Because it's absolutely international, because it's absolutely affordable to any people. It's without on depending on how you study, for example, in the I forget how it calling, but it's about University like Cambridge and so it's high society, yes. And if you imagine a high society mean, so music is absolutely equal to everyone, and it is absolutely amazing, because you don't need to study some very expensive university, and you don't need to have to being familiar with something who you should be. So it's about absolutely international equality, and it's about the only the feeling and how this feeling provoke you to action. This is the main point for my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, so we're not really comparing the lyrics then in music to poetry. We're kind of ignoring the lyrics in music and just comparing the sound of it to like the sound of poetry. Is that right? Because
Yes,
I think
yes, but
there's definitely
today,
lyrics that are not very classy, that are not very, very cultured.
Today's point is only about music, but not about the lyrics. And the lyrics make you
Yes,
feel
but lyrics are part of
absolutely.
music.
No, lyrics, it is not in music. Lyrics is just sounds you hear. Is if we if we say about music, it is only about the sounds. It is not about some additional lyrics. You know what I have you say, for example, we have a war in our country, yes, and they have you I mean, I could say you a lot of lyrics that you don't understand, but have a meaning for me. But it is make no sense for me because we say only about the music. Music it is only the sound. Sound is a way. It's a sound wave. Sound wave and its wave have an impact to our living and but you are absolutely right. It is not about the lyrics because music and lyrics is absolutely different. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know that I could say that they were absolutely different because I think for a lot of people, lyrics are a pretty important part of music. They're kind of like an element of a song. And even a lot of the examples that they gave us in the article, they were talking, for example, let's have a look at some of the different examples.
They are wrong, Natasha. I'm sure. Music is only then you hear Mozart, or for example, you hear some classical music with no words, and it's have an impact. And then you hear some music maybe later created nowadays. So the lyrics, it is maybe just deform our understand of music, because lyrics and music is absolutely different. And trust me, I am try to make music and try to understand this industry, and the lyric and music, it's different one. Lyric is about the poetry and the literature, but music it is maybe something more, much more powerful. It's about the sound, and sound is absolutely international, and it's no need to translate it, no need, just your maybe how you feel the sound, and it is very important, very. Yes, and thank you. And excuse me, I just try to explain. I just try to explain it.
Okay, let me ask you then, what about singing? What if we don't have any instruments? What if we don't have like a piano or a guitar or any kind of musical instruments? What if we just have like a group of people singing together? Is that considered music, or what is that considered? Because technically we just have the lyrics.
I separate sound in and lyrics, and it is ability to and I try to explain it. You understand the sense, you understand the word, but you prefer to listen just a sounding, and you prefer to not understand sense of the lyrics, but listen only the sound. If just imagine a situation, you listen the song in language you don't understand. So it is approach I use to the music to feel it deeply, much deeply way. So the senses, the senses, they are bored. What the sentence is about love, about death, about something like that. And I just it is constant during the centuries. So we heard it from. I mean, the plot is not changed during the centuries. So it is start to be bored. Just only the music make some fresh wave, and that's it. And excuse me, I'm not sure. I just try to explain it, but I'm not sure it was successfully. Thank you.
No, it makes sense. So you think really that most songs, they kind of just repeat the same ideas anyway. So the words themselves aren't so important. It's more about the sound of the words and the sound of the rest of the music, that part of it is more important than what the words themselves actually say.
Exactly, yes. And we say about only the love and death and something like temporary topic. And
Okay. Well, on that note,
AI, yes. Maybe AI, it was the next topic we will hear in our next song, and AI and our interaction with AI.
maybe it'll come up with something new. Maybe it'll come up with some new types of lyrics that we haven't heard of before.
But I heard it, it's like a Pygmalion myth, Greek myth. Then some sculptor invade some sculpture and take in love with its sculpture, and it's about AI, and maybe that's some kind of prediction, and we will talk about it in future.
Yeah, maybe this is good for us to talk about tomorrow when we talk about AI and work and those kinds of things. So keep that idea for tomorrow.
Have you heard about Pygmalion?
I have, yes, but it's been a while. I don't remember the story very well.
Okay, so
I'll have to look it up again.
Thank you so much, Natasha. I'm
Okay.
very
No
pleased
problem.
to connect to you.
Yes, good to hear you
Thank
again.
you.
Let's stop here for today, and hopefully I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.